Hey guys, what's going on? Watomarmelon back again, and today I'm going to be using my tablet now to do these market watches. I want some feedback on that, so let me know how the tablet market watch goes. It is a little easier for me to do them on the tablet, and hopefully the audio is a bit better because I'm using a little bit better earbuds now. So let me know what you guys think, and if it's not good, I'll go back to sort of the old style, and if you do enjoy it, then we'll continue doing it with the tablet. So for today's market watch, I haven't done a market watch in about a month, and I wanted to do a nice review of the market with quarter century secret rares coming at the end because I think those have been the talk of the town for a long time. And so I wanted to start with ghost rares, which are always exciting for me. And so I'm just sorting the ghost rares by best selling, and you can see that a lot of them are sort of ghosts from the past, ghosts from past two. And you can see that a lot of them are low on quantity and have gone up quite a bit. So the first thing that catches my eye is Dark Magician here. So, you can see that it's only 12 listings right now. The market price is a bit over $400, which is, pretty impressive. And it's the third best selling ghost rare right now. Stardust Dragon is always going to be up there. And to me, Blue Eyes White Dragon is also, from here on out, always going to be up there. So it's not surprising to see those there. Things like Rainbow Dragon, these are some of the most iconic ghost rares of all time. Probably Stardust Dragon is the most iconic. Rainbow Dragon is one of the other most iconic ones, and so not super surprising to see them. But things like Cyber Dragon, you can see that it's only at 31 listings right now of one of the most printed sets of all time in Ghosts from the Past two. People are still churning through the supply on the market right now. It's impossible to get rid of all of it. And yet, the number of listings has really declined because there's so much demand for this stuff. And you can see a bunch of these Ghosts for the Past two. You see Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, Cyber Dragon, Dark Magician Girl. It's all, on the first page. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, it's all doing quite well. Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon, you can see there are also only 12 listings right here. So also zoom in a bit on that. But to me, ghost rares are interesting because with all of the printings of quarter century rares, with Bonanza and quarter century Stampede is coming out, I believe in April. To me, it's not surprising to see that ghost rares have sort of taken their place as the premier rarity right now. I think people have soured on Ultimate Rares, the new style. The OTS Ultimate Rare doesn't feel as appealing as sort of the more vintage Ultimate Rares. And Starlights are now competing with quarter century rares. Collector rares are competing with prismatic collector rares. They're all fighting each other, and ghost rares I think are the big winner. So if we just take a look now at Dark Magician, we saw that the number of listings really has gone down. You can see that it really took a tumble in price. If this went back 2 years, we'd see that it was way higher than 543, which we see right now as sort of a year ago. The market price right now is about $100 less than that, but you can see that the sales rate is pretty decent for a card as rare as this. And also, when you look at the listings, most of these are not near mint. Here's a Japanese copy, so that doesn't really count. French with a blue ink dot, Italian. And then you get sort of an unverified seller, probably a 100% 61 sales. It's probably legit. Dark Magician at 575, and then from there, you're now looking at $750 from a verified seller near mint first edition. Dark Magician has really gone crazy. I'm a bit surprised by the how far Dark Magician has gone, but to me, something like this is more interesting than Dragon Master Magia. You can really fill out a binder full of some of these ghost rares, and having Dark Magician, which is from Ghost from the Past one, the most iconic ghost rare from that set. I don't, I'm surprised by the price, but you can see that it's really just ballooned in price, and it doesn't seem like, there was a huge buyout. You do see that one day where three of them sold, but that's very minor in the grand scheme of things. And so this has gone up quite significantly. Oh. All right. We've got some tablet. There we go. Still learning. So it only gets better from here. Next up, we've got our good friend Blue Eyes Alternative. There's the Blue Eyes structure coming out. And if we look at near mint sales, this thing is going up and up and up in the past 3 months. It did, tumble quite, far down, but there are quite a few sales right now. And if we look, the lowest is now above $100. And so it's going up again. And there are only 7 listings. I mean, you have Overdose Gaming at with a couple at around $103, and then it goes very quickly up from there. This is another one out of Ghost from the Past 1, and Blue Eyes Alternative is very playable. And given that quarter century secret rare or quarter century rare, whatever you want to call it, is not as prestigious of a rarity as it once was, I think that the Ghost Rare is now the clear winner in the rarity game, and people are going to go after this thing. And you can see that there aren't very many left at reasonable prices. Next up, we have IP Masquerena Starlight Rare. This is one that, got a reprint in quarter century rare that was, identical artwork to the Starlight Rare, and so that really hurt this thing. But you can see that people are having renewed interest. If we look down here at all of these sales on the bar chart, recently, even though this thing has completely plummeted in price, it's lost more than half of its value over the past year. People are enjoying these current prices and really going after it. That's a ton of sales. Maybe 10 have sold in that block over the past couple of months. Or yeah, 8 or so sold in maybe the past month or so. When there are only 16 listings and basically all of these are only one copy per listing, that's a huge amount of the current market that's just sold recently. And so this is another one where it went on plummet for a long time and lost almost all of its value, or not almost all of its value, but a significant amount of its value. And now there are a bunch of people who I think wanted to collect this card, and they do want the Starlight Rare, not the quarter century secret rare, which has fallen in popularity with all the printings of quarter century secrets. And so this is a pretty interesting card, and I think people are going to go back to Starlight Rares, and that's what I think we've seen. All right, it's happening again. Nope. Okay, I don't know what I'm clicking. There we go. Technical difficulties that hopefully will be resolved soon. All right, next up we've got Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer Starlight Rare. This is an interesting one because I think it's pretty collectible. Like, it's a Destiny hero, it's a lot of fun. The problem is, I don't think that this is gonna survive Stampede. I think it's gonna get a quarter century secret rare printing, or quarter century rare printing. You can see there were a number of them that sold on Cyber Monday, Black Friday sales, but if we look at the past year, it's come down significantly in price, and I can only imagine that this thing does get a reprint in quarter century rare, and people are, I think, getting a little bit nervous about that. You can see the lowest listing is 154, and the current market price is 180, so ton of listings, and people are trying to get rid of this thing before the impending reprint. Mirror Jade is another one that I would be very surprised if it doesn't get a reprint in Stampede. This one went way, way up, I think, after it didn't get a reprint announced, quarter century rare, and maybe it was meta for some time as well, but it's really coming back down, and I think people are cognizant that this is a nice candidate for a quarter century rare printing, and so it will lose a lot of value if that happens. Next up, we've got Yatagarasu. This is one that actually is doing pretty decently. It looks like there's been a huge plummet, but that's only a couple of dollars. And if you look at the number of listings, there are a couple of moderately played, light played, and then you get to the near mints. But actually, a lot of these are lightly played. Let me just look at near mint. You can see that there are only a couple of listings before it goes way, way up in value. What I would say is that this card is another candidate for quarter century rare printing. Basically, they already printed a lot of the other stuff, vintage stuff, and there just aren't enough cards in the nostalgia pool. They have to find another 200, and they've already used so many of the most nostalgic ones. If they leave out Yada, I would be a bit surprised. It's like if they leave out Crush Card Virus, I'd be extremely surprised. That just seems completely unlikely to me. This is one that someone mentioned on one of my videos. It's Exodia, the Forbidden One. They said that Exodia was going up. I don't really see that here. You can see the market price is 260 and near mint first edition is 240. And you can see that, it plummeted, plummeted, plummeted. This used to be a $500 card. And then it's kind of stabilized around 260, but you can look, the sales are, there are very few sales, even with Black Friday recently. And if you look right there, it's 240. There are a bunch of listings. I don't really see the hype behind this. I think that the quarter century rare looks really nice, and that you can pick up a set for $30, and it looks pretty similar to what this looks like. So this is not one that I'm expecting to sort of pop off, as more people can afford it. Next up, I wanted to just do a review of Ultimate Rares, looking at some of the stuff that's currently on the market. And so if we look at the best-selling Ultimate Rares right here, you can see that Cyber Dragon kind of surprisingly is at the top. And then Caius also is at the top, despite the fact that there was just a quarter century rare printing. So also take a look at that one. Maxi, people are always speculating on Maxi. That's not super surprising. There are a bunch of random ones, like it looks like Mermails, Atlanteans are getting some support. And then Miracle Fusion, I don't know, heroes are always interesting. Mask Hero Dark Law. A lot of these things got quarter century rare printings, and then as the hype for those have died down, they're sort of rebounding significantly. Stratos is at a Starlight and a quarter century rare printing, so who knows what happens there. You can see that the number of listings is pretty low for that. Pot of Desires has a bunch of new printings, and so Pot of Duality, I just caught that out of the corner of my eye, only has 5. So it's already interesting. It's always interesting to see some of these cards that are really running low on printings. This is one I'll just click on for the time being. It's Deck Devastation Virus. This is one I want to collect, and I can't convince myself to spend over $300 on this card. It's just, to me, I don't understand. It must be that it's usable in Edison, because this thing, it's not like it's selling a huge amount. You can see there, less than 10 sales over the entire year. There's 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there have been 8 sales over the past year. It's not like there's a crazy buyout going on, and you can basically see that there are only 3 listings. Not one that I would, this is something that is niche enough that if someone decides to list a playlist, it basically doubles the amount on the market. So who knows where it ends up. All right, so for Cyber Dragon Ultimate Rare, we can see there are only 6 listings now on the market. There's one at 500, which I remember the days where this was quite a bit more expensive than 500, but the supply has really fallen off quite considerably, and it's not as if there is some buyout. Again, it's 2 sales total. Let's see if there are any additional filters. It's just near mint first edition English. Only 6 listings on the market, and one of them's German. So, I mean, it's a bit surprising to me to see how little supply there is, but this is a very popular card. And the thing I don't understand is that it's not as if someone's bought them out. There's only 2 sales in the past year or so. I don't know where these things are going. It's like there's some drain that's just taking them all away. Also, it's kind of crazy because it said that Near Mint First Edition is, or it said that this is one of the best-selling Ultimate Rares. So it's kind of crazy. I mean, you can see that one Near Mint First Edition sold. Another one back there, but it's kind of crazy that this is one of the best-selling ones. I don't really understand where that's coming from. Next up, we've got Caius. You can sort this to near mint. You can see that it's climbing back up in price, which is a bit crazy because it just got a quarter century rare printing. But yeah, it seems like there are quite a few of these. Lowest listings now is 645 with four of them available. So we'll see where Caius ends up. And then the final thing I wanted to look at were the quarter century rares out of quarter century secret rare out of the Bonanza set. And, you know, this is sorted by best selling. I guess I'll go high to low. But I was saying before that given how rare individually these were, it was a bit crazy that there wasn't one above $100, and I was expecting that one of the Dark Magician girls would sort of take the top spot. I didn't really believe in Caius or BLS. Now you can see that I'm eating my words a bit here. Blue Eyes ultimately has become the sort of king of the set, even though it's the crooked neck artwork. Caius, you can see that there are a huge number of listings, and this is what I was expecting, is that I don't think there are enough Edison players to make this the second most expensive card in a nostalgic pool of cards. I just don't believe in that. I could be completely wrong. We'll have to see. But now there's kind of a budget shiny option in the Platinum Secret Rare, and then the Quarter Century Secret Rare. I don't know how many people are going to be buying this thing at $60, but I've already been wrong before, so we'll see where that ends up. BLS at 63. There was a huge buyout on a number of these cards, and most of them have sort of gone back to where they were before the buyout, but a number of them have sort of stuck to an extent. Caius, a little bit less so than BLS, where you can see that the number of listings is quite a bit lower. And both of them, have a lowest listing around 63. It seems like Dark Magician Girl A is the big winner of the three Dark Magician Girls. That to me isn't super surprising. It's my favorite art of all of them. And I did say that with Dark Magician Girl, the fact that there was just a tin and the tin Dark Magician Girl quarter century secret rare is like $10 and super, super accessible makes it a little bit more painful to spend a huge amount of money on something like this, but it seems like Dark Magician Girl A is not doing too poorly. Blue Eyes Ultimate at 50, not super crazy, but there is a ghost rare, and so we'll see how well that sticks. Dark Magician is interesting. Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight is one that I thought was going to do quite well. There are 50 listings, so I think that that's going to come a bit down. But that's one that I think is actually like a very interesting quarter century rare. The God cards for me are also really cool. I don't love the raw artwork. I think that the Slifer and Obelisk artworks are a lot better. This raw you can get in Japanese for very cheap, or it was cheap for a long time. Chaos Emperor starting to sort of regress back down to the price before after the buyout. Um, Dark Magician of Chaos, that's one that's interesting for Goat. So there's a lot of cool stuff. I love this obelisk and the Slifer artwork, so eventually I'll pick those up. I was going to pick them up, and then they got bought out, and now we're seeing them come back down. So we'll have to see where everything lands. Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. This to me is interesting. Like, why is Dragon Master Magia so much better as a collectible than this? I don't fully understand that, but a lot of it has to do with hype. Graceful Charity is one that I said I liked before, hasn't sort of exploded in price. Magician of Faith, that was one that I thought was way, way, way too cheap, considering there just weren't other good alternatives besides, I think, Champion Pack, which is way too expensive. So you can see there's a lot of great stuff in these sets. Flame Wingman coming back down. Ryza, I bought that and then it got canceled, unfortunately. Morphing Jar. So there's a lot of great stuff in this set, and I'm interested to see what is going to be in Stampede. I saw there's Petite Moth as a meme. We'll see what else is in there. I think Crush Card Virus has to be there. There are a couple others. The Power Tool Dragon I think should be there, but we'll end up seeing. So let me know what you guys think. This was my first market watch in a month, so it was a bit of a scatterbrained market watch. Oh, what the heck? Lightning Dragon Ruler of Drafts is 2 listings. Lowest listing $40. So we're noticing buyouts live. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been your boy Watomarmelon. Check out my links and let me know what you guys thought about the iPad or the tablet. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.